Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my podcast. My name is Tenley Irr, and today I am here with a special guest, Kate Larr.
Hi, guys.
Kate is currently finishing up her last semester at Arizona State University and is about to graduate in December with a degree in digital marketing. On top of being a student, Beyonce, and dog mom, she is also a full-time influencer. Today, she will be giving us all a deeper look into what it is like to be a social media influencer.
Thank you for that perfect intro, Tenley. Let's get into it. Go ahead and ask me any questions you have.
So I have a couple questions that I'm going to ask. Starting off with, how and when did you start becoming an influencer?
So I started in 2021, and what prompted me to start is I was actually really sick, and I have Crohn's disease, so I was laid up, and my dream has always been to be an influencer. I've grown up watching YouTube videos and aspiring to be that way. So I did my own research and I just dove right in.
That's really cool. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to start as an influencer?
The best advice I could give is just believe in yourself and ask yourself the questions what are you good at? What is your aesthetic per se? And what do you want to share with people? What do you want to teach?
Right. There's a lot of niches out there, and there's a lot of people who want to be an influencer.
Yes, exactly. So you have to stand out some way or another. But just getting started is, the biggest part. And I think that if you really want to do it, you will figure out your own path. Everyone has their own path.
Right. And so I know you have a lot on your plate, obviously, finishing up school. And I know you're also trying to move to Florida on top of that.
Yeah.
But aside from all of that, what would you say has been the hardest part of your journey as an influencer?
Wow, that's a great question, a very loaded one at that. But I think the hardest part is just juggling everything because, I'm a full-time student. I'm also applying to and interviewing for career jobs. And yes, I'm moving to Florida, also planning a wedding. And I have a lot on my plate, but I think the hardest part for influencing on its own is just the consistency, because if you want to make it and grow, you have to be consistent. It's just part of the game.
Right. It's a big time commitment, it seems.
Yes.
But you do great at it. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And like we were talking about before, about finding that niche, what is your specific mission or goal with your influence?
So it's funny that you asked that because I started out just doing fashion and beauty stuff, and I love that. It definitely lights me up inside. But I think overall, down the road, I want to share more about my journey with Crohn's disease and trying to overcome that with eating clean and kind of just deeper meaning to life. And I really want to share that journey with people so I could help others who are struggling with the same thing that I am or similar things too.
Right. And so what advice would you give to someone else who is trying to figure out their own niche or mission?
I think the best place to go for that is Pinterest, because when you're scrolling Pinterest and you find something ooh, that's really cute, or ooh, I love that, that's so me, you're going to save it to boards. You're going to try to understand your own aesthetic and put that all together. And you could even make a mood board, and that could mirror who you are and what you like. And from there, that's how you know what you want to start posting. And also take into account what people are telling you that you're good at. What are people complimenting you on? Are they complimenting you on your hair all the time? Are they complimenting you on your style? What is it that people are complimenting you on? Because I bet you're really good at that.
I love that advice. I know it's so easy to get overwhelmed, especially when being an influencer can mean a lot of different things. So that's awesome. Definitely look into what you're good at, like you said, and listen to what other people are telling you.
Yeah, and the main thing is with being an influencer, you want to help other people. What can you provide for others that they're going to want to save it or send it to someone, because that's how you grow.
Right. And so where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know you're in the middle stage, beginning middle stage of your journey. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'd love to see myself doing this solely full-time as my only job, basically. I have to start somewhere with digital marketing and get a remote job so I could get my feet on the ground and, pay for a wedding and things like that. But I think that being an influencer, you really have to put a lot of time and effort and energy into what you're doing. And that's what I'd seen myself doing in 5 years, just fully putting all of my effort and energy and time into influencing and making that my full-time job.
What advice would you give to someone who also has a lot going on but is trying to make it into their main thing?
So I would advise sit down every night and make like a big to-do list and then condense it down and just like really figure out what is priority, what could you put off, because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of us try to do so many things at once and it's not doable because we're human and we want to enjoy life too. So make sure you're also incorporating things that you actually enjoy into your day-to-day, because otherwise you're just going to burn out. So my main advice is to just break down your to-do list, but also incorporate things that make you happy.
I love that advice. Definitely start with a list and then go from there so that you're not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That way you'll be able to progress.
For sure. And I think like making a list once a week, that's like super big, and trying to delegate tasks into every day of the week will really help your mind stay on task. And then you could kind of just flow from there.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Thank you.
So I think that was all the questions that I had for you. Thank you.
Thank you for
joining me
having
today.
me. This was so great.
Yeah, this was so much fun, and we should definitely do this again.
Definitely. I would love to start a podcast.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and we'll talk to you next time.